All right. What's up, everybody?
Hi guys. So
Gosh,
freaking hot.
is it? It's pretty hot here too. I mean, I'm inside though, so.
Well, me too, but this summer has been so weird.
Hmm.
Um in every sense of that word for me. Not only have we have a weird weather summer, we barely get any hot weather here in New York City. Um, but just I don't know you, Erika, but the past like 2 weeks, July was really weird for me. Um,
Hmm.
very eerie. Motivation was pretty low, and a bunch of my clients and a bunch of my friends were feeling the same way. And I'm like, are we collectively just
Oh
feeling
yeah.
weird?
I don't remember. Was it the end of July for me? I felt like that too, but I think like I thought for me, it could have been like a collective thing, which I think it possibly was because like I follow that Chris Corsini guy and he's always talking about like the energy. I'm pretty sure he
Mhm.
said something about that. And like you're still feeling he's like it feels like weird like but also I think like part of it's also because it was like towards the end of the program with Stevie and I literally felt like I was going through like an ego death. Like it was weird. I just felt so weird. I didn't like it. I don't it was like heavy, but it's just like I don't know, it was weird.
Do you feel like your ego died?
Parts of it, not all of it. I think what I've understood is like you can have multiple ego deaths because like as you do this work, other layers come up as you do it. So
So do we fully kill the ego or no? We just kill layers of it.
that's a really good question. I don't know if you fully kill the ego.
I don't think you do.
I don't think so.
It's
No, 'cause
just
it's
part of
always gonna
us.
be there. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But I
It's just,
think
I
like
guess, learning to operate not from the ego.
yeah, I think that's what you learn really separating yourself from it.
So when
And
it comes, for example, from your business and what the layers of your ego that you just shed, which one were not serving you? It's a heavy ass question.
that's a big question. Um, the
Like out
belief
of everything that you shed it, what it's now gonna serve your business because you don't identify yourself with it anymore.
the fact that I don't deserve abundance. That was a big one. I think that I feel like that I've a layer of that has died and gone away. But like I've noticed I still have like ish like I still have some like work to do when it comes to money, just in general. Um, yeah.
Like
But
attracting money.
yeah, I guess like attracting money and also when it comes to like investing in yourself and like because like I just told you like I just invested in the 4 month program with CV and that was like a pretty penny and then like I don't know just I guess after you do that you're just kind of like I kind of just don't want to spend money right now anymore like I don't want to like commit to something else that's going to be a whole nother like a lot of money coming out of my bank account type of thing and it's just I guess feeling like you want to control it and I guess when you really ask yourself, like, okay, like, why don't you want to spend that money? Like, what makes you want to hold on to it? And I think it's because the subconscious fear is that, like, oh, once I let it go, it's not going to come back. Or like,
So fun fact to you and all the entrepreneurs listening to us, as an experienced person just hearing this, you're gonna spend the money, like an opportunity is gonna come where you're gonna be like, fuck, I need this, I need to make this investment, and it's gonna happen constantly. If I can even like remember the amount of money that I've spent in programs, coaches, like so much money, that at the time I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Or I can't afford to do this again. And I would continue to do it. So it's gonna keep happening,
and it
and
works
it's gonna
out.
keep showing, and it works out, and it's gonna just keep showing you that it's an investment at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not a waste. And it's gonna help you because if you think about it, the very first investment that you made for your business, all of you guys listening, whether it was your certification, for me, for example, whether it was a piece of equipment, like your first, for maybe if you're a photographer, you bought your first camera or whatever, and then you're like, I cannot afford to buy anything else. But with that piece of equipment or certification or whatever that you bought, you're able to make more money. And then with that money, you're able to invest it in something else. And that's how it just keeps happening and happening.
The cycle.
Mhm.
I guess for me, like, it's also like a little harder because it's just like I haven't been making money since April. So it's just kind of like it hurts me even more because it's just kind of like, oh, like I'd like to make money first and then okay, I can invest again, type of thing. Not like, oh, I'm just gonna keep sending the money out before I see any of it come back to me.
So this is when you have to, I would say, take everything that you have learned and figure out how that can make you money.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I've been thinking about too. That I just need to do that, which I think I'm gonna do that today. I was gonna go get my nails done, but I think I can just do that tomorrow. And then today, I feel like that's part of what's making me overthink and be like, fuck, like what am I gonna do now? Like, what am I trying to do? How can I make money? And what's gonna make me feel fulfilled and all of that stuff. What what feels good to me? What do I feel like I'm being called to do? And I think part of it that's causing the overthinking is feeling like I have no idea like how I'm going to like package everything together, I guess, or make it into one thing. So yeah, I
Well, sometimes we forget that we're doing this for an audience. We're doing this for a specific customer, a specific person. And we try to give them so much. And we do it from a place that we are right now.
yeah,
So for example, I always do a fitness example, but for example, I have a client and I want her to let's say count her macros and go to the gym and meal prep and whatever. I can expect her to do all of that when she doesn't even know where to start.
hmm
So we want to give them so much and so much information and bombard them with everything we know when with a simple 1, 2, 3 steps, very simple, you're gonna be helping them.
yeah,
So it's more so making sure that you know, you were telling me this earlier, just being more specific with who your client
yeah,
is, who
yeah,
you're trying to serve, and what does that person need from you.
yeah,
Because you have a lot to offer. That's out of the question. But it's out of everything that you have to offer, what can someone need from you right now that can make you money?
hmm yeah. I really need to do that. I really need to figure that out.
And I appreciate the fact that you were saying that you admitted that you haven't been making money since April. And the reason why I say I appreciate is because as an entrepreneur, there's so many ups and downs. And people only talk about the lows or the ups and downs once they're really high.
Yeah, they only talk about the lows once they're back at a high point. It's like, oh
Exactly.
yeah, like back then I was doing
I,
this.
I was making nothing. And it's like, well, how about now that we're making nothing? Admit that we're making nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once we look, it's the truth. And once we look back and we're like, you know what? I'm able to say this because I was in that point. You can go back to episode whatever
Yeah.
and find out for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's true, especially even for me, I see a lot of ups and downs, and I think that everything that's happening in the world also affects what's going on with money. And I think that we also need to address the elephant in the room, that even though Erika and I are very spiritual and we believe in abundance, there's also what's going on in the world
Mm-hmm.
that affects everything else and is affecting a bunch of businesses. And it's managing that too, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with, I know that there's abundance, but I also know, like, to what point, I guess this is my question, to what point do we make a balance between what we should believe in and what we know is going on? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it comes down to like feeling like, I don't know, between the 3D and the 5D like dimension, like
Pretty much. I didn't want to put it that way because it sounds super
because like
woo-woo, but it's a trip.
the 3D is like it's everything that's going on in this humanistic world, and like of course like the pandemic and the businesses that are not doing well and all that. Yeah, that's all real.
Like for example, I'm just gonna put it out there, fuck it. So Erica's gonna start doing breath work soon, right? She
Oh
wants to do
God.
breath work. And then
Heck,
in
Natalie.
no, I'm gonna use this example. Let's say you know that the world needs more breath guidance, right? For example.
Yeah.
At the same time, your 3D mind knows that I can teach you how to copyright and whatever, like basic shit like that, you know, like can make other people money.
Yeah.
So it's like, when do you stop? Okay, so this is my question. So when do you stop fighting yourself and you do something that you truly want to do without getting in your own way because of your logical mind? Or when do you follow what's quote unquote logic?
God, that's a really
You're
hard
like, thanks for
question.
using me as an example. I've been figuring this shit out myself.
Yeah. Well, like I know like also though like that what I've learned is like that's the ego mind. Like the ego is a part of us that's telling us this is what we should do or why like we can't do or be something. And it gives us all the shoulds. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I should teach copywriting because it's a skill that I've learned myself and I know how to do it. But do I really want to do it? Like, like does that fill my heart and soul? Does that make me feel fulfilled?
No.
No, I don't think it does. And so I feel like at that point it comes down to what do you want to go for? Like, do you just want to go for something that you can do just because it's a skill you have and it can make you money, but you're not going to be happy in the end? Or are you going to go for something that makes you feel fulfilled? And even if you're not making, massive bank at the beginning, just the fact that you're able to do what you love and it's making you some money, like you're going to be happy and you're going to be okay. And eventually it's going to grow into what you want it to become as long as you believe in that possibility for yourself,
True.
type of thing. So
True. But we also have to admit a little bit like the privilege that we do have, because as entrepreneurs, we still have the support from our parents.
yeah.
And I know that a lot of our listeners probably do not have the same privilege, you know.
Right.
So I think that it's a great battle, especially when what you do influences your rent and your food and whatever you do, your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that this is what this podcast is called, As We Grow, because we're figuring this shit out ourselves too, guys,
Yeah.
as we're talking to you. Um, so so I always wonder that, like, to what point do we just keep following the spiritual part and what we think that we should do, and to what point we go with what this is what we should do because it's gonna bring food to the table.
That's a really good question. I don't know. I feel like you can do both at the same time, can't you?
I think you
You
can
can
too.
you
It's
can do
harder.
it is harder and takes more, I guess, like patience and I guess work on your part, but I feel like you can do both, like living like be in acceptance of your present and doing what you have to do to put food on the table while still believing that you can create what it is you do want for yourself. Like that's going to bring you that fulfillment and all of that. And you can start doing a little bit of that just to start out. And then eventually you're able to grow that to where you want it to become, to where you want it to be, so that you can leave the other thing that is not as fulfilling, but is paying those bills for you.
You know what blows my mind? The fact that we all been conditioned to have this mentality towards like money, towards our dreams and our goals. And even by having this conversation, I can realize how much of our own thoughts determine our success, you know. And but unfortunately those thoughts are also deeply rooted with how we were raised, words that came from even before us.
Mm-hmm.
and actions that came even from before us.
Yeah. And that's what makes up the ego. Like that's the subconscious mind. And I just read something that finally helped me kind of understand better the difference between the ego and the subconscious mind. So the way I've understood it is like our subconscious mind is that part of ourselves that works on its own. You know, we don't have to consciously like make it work for us. It's just on. That's what stores all of our inner beliefs, like, and like you were saying, like the things we've taken on from the people around us and growing up and all of that. um our subconscious mind stores all of those inner beliefs inside of us, and the ego is what voices them. So then what we're thinking constantly, that's the ego that's thinking, and it's
The
pulling,
little voice.
yeah, it's the voice, but it's pulling the thoughts, I guess, or those beliefs from your subconscious mind. So that's why um something like breath work helps you release that from yourself, because it's what
You saw what we just uncovered here. I hope that you're getting what I just got.
what
How deep down everything is, we should treat everything from the root.
mm-hmm.
And it stems again back to sticking with what we know it's true. And even if it's coming back, going back to your example, if you feel in your heart that breath work, for example, is what's going to help your people, then you have to do what's right. You know, we have to treat this stuff from the the deep shit, not just external.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're the healers.
Yeah, and that's
People
what,
like us are doing the work. We teach others how to do it.
yeah.
And
And
that's
like
a job.
that's what I feel like called to do, is to be like that kind of healer, and like that kind of teacher, like a spiritual teacher even. Like, and it's weird to me at the same time because I've never really seen myself as that. But I don't know, just like I feel like after doing this program, it just like opened me up to a whole new like thing, like a whole new world of like healing that I didn't really even know like was there and how powerful it was. And it's just like, gosh, the way that doing this program impacted me and changed me, like I want to be able to do that for other people, because I've seen how life changing it is. Like, and it's like internal, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
people can look at me and I look the same, but it's just like, oh, inside it's so much
You're a
different.
whole different person. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's why like it makes me excited. And I'm like, gosh, I want to do this for people. Like this is amazing. And then here comes the ego being like, oh, but you can't do this because of this. And like
Mm-hmm.
how you like blurted out, like Erika's gonna be doing breath work soon. I was like, what the heck? Like I literally just told her before we even started recording that like I feel like I want to be able
Thinking
to
about
integrate
it.
that more. But like I have that ego voice coming up and telling me like, but you're not like a certified like quote unquote
Breath
breath
worker.
facilitator. So it's just like, so you don't have the knowledge to do it. Like you can't, like that's what comes up for me a lot. And it comes up for like different things too, not only like this. Like I've noticed that's usually something that holds me back a lot, is feeling like I don't know enough yet.
It's
And
imposter syndrome.
yeah.
But again, if you go back to, and to me, always that everything stems back from what we truly know as our higher self and what we know in a logical 3D way. Um, because if you know that you know how to do it, how to facilitate it, why don't your ego tells your other ego, I got this, because I already knew this. You know what I mean?
You mean like the highest self tells the ego? Because
Yeah. So you see
I
how
have an
like
ego.
even Stevie said that you're in this moment because you already manifested it. So you manifested learning from her
Yeah.
for you to relearn what you already knew,
Right.
right? So is that if you already know that, if you have that piece of information, doesn't your ego already should believe that you can do it?
My highest
Because you
self, not the ego though. Because the ego, like the way I see the ego is like what's trying to keep you safe and hold you back and make you like stay within your comfort zone type of thing. So
it could also make you do things.
Yeah.
to prove yourself.
Yeah, that too. I see what you mean. I see what you're saying now. What you mean.
So use that shit as your advantage. But actually, that's what I'm saying for all of us. We should use our egos to our advantage. It's kind of like saying to that friend that tells you, oh, but I don't think you should be doing that. And that's pretty much you're saying, watch me.
Mm-hmm.
Who says that I can't? Why not?
Yeah.
I think that we are conditioned to believe, and this is for all of you guys, and myself included, we're conditioned to believe that we need to be 100% ready, or that we need to know way more than we think that we need to know
Mm-hmm.
for us to teach others, or for us to even do what we know we can do. So for example, I started looking into getting certified to become a life coach,
Mm.
because so many people already tell me, like, you're my life coach. All my clients tell me I'm their life coach, and I'm like, I feel like a life coach.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it was hard for me to even admit that, because I don't have my certification. I
Mm.
haven't paid thousands of dollars for someone or something to say you're
To tell me,
certified,
yeah, that you got it.
when already
Yeah.
people are telling me you are my life coach. You know what I mean? So it's something that we already know and we are already doing, but because we need something or someone to tell us you're now capable of doing it, go ahead and do it. So when you with the breath work, what, you need a certification to tell you something that you already know?
You're right. No, I shouldn't need it.
Exactly, it's the truth.
Gosh.
So it's stuff that you do that, again, it's an investment for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And as an entrepreneur, we're gonna have always ideas. We always would want to execute stuff. Um, and some of those ideas will come to fruition, and some of them won't. But you will never be failing, especially when you are doing something out of your gut feeling, out of your heart, out of something that you really rootly feel like you need to do this for other people. And I
Mm-hmm.
see that in you right now.
Yeah.
Work. So if it helped you so much, helped other people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's millions of people in the world. Stevie won't be able to help all of them. Samantha won't be able to help all of them.
Yeah. And that's what I've told myself.
There's people in freaking Texas or whatever the hell you live, that they don't even know about those two.
Yeah. You're right.
So you can be their next Stevie or the next Samantha. So don't look at it as imposter. You have to look at it as someone taught me so I can teach you.
Yeah.
That'll be $50 a session. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm already here with my life.
Yeah.
But
You're
it's true. And I can only say that because I've been there and I'm still there.
Mhm.
And like, even with my women retreat that I haven't freaking had yet, and I've been talking about this forever, and it's gonna come. But it hasn't happened because part of me feels like I need to be more ready. Part of me feels like, who am I to even do this? Even though deep down I know that I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy that you mentioned that, because I was thinking about that retreat last night too. Thinking about, like, okay, how can we make this happen like next
And
year?
funny, I always wanted to have breath work there.
Literally, I was like I can do the breath work. Like, we could like do that now that I've kind of like learned it, sort of.
Exactly. So I just feel like we are so capable, but we're letting our heads and those thoughts get the best of us.
Mm-hmm. Keep us small.
And this is where you guys and everybody, this is where we need accountability. This is where we need like-minded people, friends who support us, friends or people that see our vision and they can hold us accountable to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why, like, I mentioned it to you, because I was like, I feel like I just need to talk to Natalie, because she's gonna be the one that's gonna be like,
What are we
why?
doing?
Yeah, like, why don't you just start? Like, what are
Like
you doing to
today.
yourself?
Do you want to like use me as a guinea pig? Like, let's do it.
Yeah. So,
And
and
I'm learning that lately. I feel like this year more than ever, my one of my biggest lessons have been to stay true to a community, to a
mhm,
tribe, to because I've always been like a loner, especially in this entrepreneurial world. Um, so to be more open with like-minded women, like-minded people, and to trust, because if I don't trust others, they're not gonna trust me. If I don't support others, they're not gonna support me.
yeah,
And keep that high frequency, high vibe always rolling. Because in this down moments that you can turn to someone and tell them what's going on and they can just say, I've been there and it's gonna get better, makes such a difference. Or I have this idea and I don't think it's gonna happen. And you have someone telling you, I've seen other people do it. Why can't you make it happen?
yeah,
So I think that people who use there's so much that comes to like that I would say make a business successful. And one of them, aside from what we already touched on, doing the internal work, part of it is also who you're surrounding yourself with.
yeah.
Who's in your corner?
It
Because if
does
you don't
make a
have
big,
people in your corner that want to see you win, then it's gonna be really hard.
yeah.
And you can start by being that friend too. And you touch a lot on this, Erika. You used to, I don't know if you still teach it, but I know you used to teach that how to like have more friends, how to be a little bit
Oh,
more social. Remember?
yeah. I was doing
So it
that a
starts
while ago.
starts with you.
Yeah, yeah. How to not be like shy, how to grow out of like your shyness. Because
hmm
like, I mean, I learned how to do that by myself. So it really just came down to pushing myself to
So imagine if someone,
I
if you put yourself back then, if someone was coming to you right now with breath work and all that crap,
would not
it took you a while
to get to
to
that
be
place.
here. Exactly. So we always want to give someone, our ideal client, we always want to give them everything that we have learned in one full package. Here, I'm gonna charge you this much because this is everything that I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
When everything they need like just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
How to be less shy, how to make friends, how to walk more, how to drink more water, But
Yeah.
we're full to offer people everything at once and do things that we wouldn't even do to begin with. And I think that you and I could do a little bit more of that, relate more to our ideal client
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
instead of trying to serve someone who's in our level or ahead of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, and when it comes to like businesses, there's no right or wrong. There's always so much to learn, I feel.
Oh yeah. There was so much there.
And it's so easy to want to give up.
So easy to
Just the other day, I was like, should I get a 9 to 5 and just forget about everything? Like people have 9 to 5s, have it so easy.
Yeah, I literally was thinking about that the other day. Like,
Like you just have to show up.
yeah.
I mean, obviously you have to do your work. I'm not saying it's easier than what we do, but we have to wear a lot of hats. And if you're an entrepreneur listening to this right now, I'm really proud of you because we know what it takes.
It's fucking hard. Especially like,
I have meltdowns all the fucking time.
oh yeah, and especially like I love this quote, and it was from, I think I heard Kevin Hart say it in a podcast, and he was saying like he was like, the hardest part is putting the work in every single day and not seeing the results. Like, and having to like continue with that kind of like ambition and like, what is it? Like discipline every single day until you get that result. Like that's the hardest
Mhm.
part. And I was literally like, dude, for real, like that is the hardest part. And like I'm feeling that now. Like I just said, like I've been doing this for a while, or trying, and I've had like the ups and then the downs, and it's just like being in the down, it sucks because you're like, shoot, like how what do I do
And
now?
people only see like the outside. So for example, the other day, um, this woman that I'm helping, we're gonna do a pregnancy and fit program,
Mhm.
and she took my challenges a long time ago, and she told me that she was very impressed with how I did things and how authentic I was with my audience and just how I talked to them, et cetera, et cetera. And she wanted to sort of do the same.
Mhm.
And she said, but then I realized that you've been doing this for so long and nobody has really seen like the behind the scenes. Like it's so easy to say, oh, I want to do this like this person. And I told her, I was like, I'm glad that you acknowledge that it has taken me so long, because when I first started, I wasn't thinking about being authentic. I wasn't thinking about staying true to myself.
Yeah.
I was thinking about going by the books and everything the books said, and following the rules. But as I'm learning and as I'm growing and as I'm driving my business as something that I want for myself, I'm doing things very differently.
Mhm.
A little more from like the feminine side, if you want to call it. Um, and I'm like, yeah, it has taken me a lot of time, and it's been those investments in like spiritual coaches and doing things wrong and doing things right, and having a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And even 8 years later, I'm like, I haven't figured anything out. But people that are starting are like, wow, how do you even get there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, where?
Yeah.
So I think we also have to recognize how far we've gone
Yeah, for sure.
and how far we're gonna get.
Yeah, because like I
And
thought
we're
about
still
that.
pretty young.
Yeah, very young. And I thought about that too the other day. I was like, dang, like this time last year, I hadn't even gone through like my spiritual awakening. And like we were in the
That's true.
middle of like freaking pandemic lockdowns. And it's just like, it's insane to me. It's just like how much has changed over the past year. And so like that, like I feel like it really does make a difference and helps a lot to acknowledge that. Cause when you see that, you're like, dude, like why am I still feeling so defeated? Like, look at how much has changed over this past year.
We are still going through pandemic pretty much.
Mm-hmm. But like looking how you have changed, I guess. Like I feel like that gives you like hope and like some peace because it's just like, oh, like I'm really am like a lot farther than I was, and I'm just not giving myself the credit. And and then by this time next year, like I'm
If
gonna
you
be in
listen to the very first episode that we recorded here, that's when you started your spiritual awakening.
was it? It was a little after.
Well, we started this a little after. I remember you speaking about like how you got into it and whatnot. And that's how we decided to even do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like a year ago. Holy shit. Have we really been doing this that long already?
I don't know.
It hasn't felt that long.
Seems like, I don't know.
Because I know like it was around September. That was like when I started going through it. Because that's when I started like meditating. And that's when stuff just started like, I don't know, my mind just went like boom.
And it's still going boom and it hasn't stopped.
And it really hasn't.
And I feel like even if our businesses are not where we want them to be, we have gotten pretty far
Hmm.
spiritually. um our mindset, we're in a lot better place than we were before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
that naturally attracts people
Mm-hmm.
to us. And I think that, again, everything that's going on also makes it hard because I don't know you, but I kind of feel guilty by wanting to offer something when I know that quote unquote everybody's suffering or there's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
I have so many like thoughts. You
I
get to sickly or not.
I've kind of, I think I've just kind of blocked it out. Like, I don't, I don't know. I know like we should be aware of it and all that, but I don't like it. Like,
I tried to and I couldn't because when I did for a few months, I even left the country. And things were very differently. Um, After coming back, you realize that so many people have been affected, whether it has been physically, spiritually, or emotionally, that you can't help but get affected too.
mm,
And it unfortunately it happened to me, like I realized that the hard way. And I started feeling ways that I didn't know why I was feeling this way.
mhm.
And although it had nothing to do with me, had a lot to do with what was going on in the world. And because
Yeah.
I wasn't giving it some kind of attention, it affected me.
Mm,
So I mean, I'm saying this because sometimes we go through things and we think that it's us. Oh, I'm liking the motivation and I'm liking this, or I'm not feeling this way or whatever. And sometimes it has literally nothing to do with you and a lot with what's going on in the world as a collective. That's why I loved knowing that, and this is gonna sound fucked up, but I love knowing that not everybody was feeling great when I wasn't feeling great because I was like, what the hell is going on? This
yeah.
is not me. And
Yeah.
so many people were feeling that way. And I was like, okay, good.
It's not
There's
just me.
something going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. So recognize that although there are highs and lows, there's greater things happening that have nothing to do with us. And that also matters.
True.
There's a time and phase. And I'm learning that if you have the app, the pattern, download that. It tells you about like you put like your birthday. Do you have the pattern?
What's that?
It's an app. It's an astrological app, and it pretty much tells you of like where you are in your path in your life. It's kind of creepy.
That would creep me out.
Mhm. Yeah. So like it tells you like what the world is going through. Yeah, it's called the pattern. You should
That's
get it.
insane. I don't know if I want to get that. I feel like it's kind of freaked me out.
It's not that deep. Yeah, so it just tells you that collectively the world is going through something. And then if you are going through something as an individual, we should be too.
Wow.
You just know
Yeah.
that you're not alone. And if you are someone listening, if your business is going through like some really highs right now, congrats. Really be grateful for that. Enjoy it. Um, yeah, keep having more of that.
Yeah.
If you're going through it like us, it's gonna get better.
It's, yep. Nothing lasts forever. So,
Do you have an advice for them
oh,
before we let them go?
geez. Every single time I forget advice. Just, I guess from like what I'm going through, like, don't let your dang ego get in the way. Like, do what you can to overpower it, and just remind yourself that anytime you have thoughts come up and you're like overthinking whether or not you should do something, the fact that you're even saying like should, that's your ego talking, and it's trying to do it to keep you small, to keep you safe and in the familiar. But if you want to be able to do what it is you truly want with your life, you have to be willing to step out of that and trust yourself enough to do it anyways, and to trust that your highest self and like that inner part of you that is dying to do it knows what's best and knows that you already have everything you need to do it, or to go after it. And your ego is just that annoying little voice that is trying to keep you from doing that. And if you can separate yourself from it, then you can move on without allowing it to get in your way. So,
I love that.
yeah, I feel like I needed that.
But I guess mine would be, if the feeling is there, and I think it was Alexander Bird that said something sort of similar to this, but the vision is in you, the vision is for you. If it's in your mind, if it's in your heart, if you're feeling in your gut, it's because it's for you. Do not doubt it. Do not feel like you are an imposter. Do not feel like you need to be extra ready.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the little voice in your head, why your heartbeat tells you, let's try this, because it's for you.
Mhm.
Don't doubt it.
Wow, I love that.
You're like, that was for me too.
Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah, too. It's like always, we're gonna see you hopefully next week.
Yeah, we just
Things
need
are always up and down everywhere.
to.
We're here showing up as usual. Find us on Instagram. Feel free to comment to let us know if you resonated with what we're going through, what we're saying, anything that you like us to like touch on.
Yeah,
Let us know. We're here to listen.
totally. We're here to be open.
Thank you for riding the wave.
For what?
Riding the wave with us.
Oh, yeah, and sticking around even though our posts are like not always super consistent.
It's okay.
But yeah.
I feel like our audience is a little bit like us too, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Ciao.